Laura Wallen was a 31-year-old social science teacher at Wild Lake High School in Columbia, Maryland. She loved her job and her students, so much so that she was named Teacher of the Year in 2016. Laura was excited about the new school year, and she had even decorated her classroom in anticipation of the first day. That's why, on September 5, 2017, it made no sense to anyone when she didn't show up for work. This was completely out of character for Laura, and her absence immediately raised alarms. When the school called Laura's family, they knew something was terribly wrong. Concern quickly turned into panic when they discovered that her family had filed for missing person and already involved the Montgomery County Police Department. The day before, Laura had sent her sister, Jennifer, an unusual text message. This message raised red flags and heightened the family's fears. To make matters even more urgent, Laura was 4 months pregnant. As hours passed, the search for Laura intensified. Friends, family, and police worked tirelessly, following every possible lead, but Laura seemed to have vanished without a trace. Hello and welcome back. If you are new to our channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. Now, let's dive into this heartbreaking story. Laura Wallen was born on February 10, 1986, to Mark and Gwen, raised in Olney, Maryland, alongside her sister Jennifer. One day, the family planned a getaway for the Labor Day weekend, but Laura opted to spend time with Tyler Tessier, her boyfriend of 10 years and the father of her unborn child. Tyler had expressed his desire to marry Laura after they discovered she was pregnant. On Saturday, September 2, 2017, the couple went on a mysterious adventure in Damascus, Maryland. Tyler intended to show her some property he was interested in buying. His dream was to build a home, a place where they could raise their family together. They drove through the breathtaking countryside, with its rolling hills, lush fields, and vibrant green trees. As they traveled deeper into the rural area, Tyler eventually pulled off the road, stopped the vehicle, and stepped out to make a phone call. Laura, who was 4 months pregnant, was excited. Could this be the moment Tyler would finally propose to her? Laura was so hopeful that she sent a text to her sister, Jennifer, sharing her excitement. She even took a picture of the beautiful landscape and sent it to her sister's phone. However, according to Tyler, they got into a fight instead. After the argument, Laura insisted on going back to her house. When they finally returned, Laura told Tyler that she wanted his set of house keys back and asked him to leave her alone. Sensing her agitation and not wanting to escalate the situation, especially given her pregnancy, Tyler agreed to give her some space. He suggested she cool down, and they agreed to meet for breakfast at the Columbia Mall the following morning on September 4, 2017, to discuss things further. But that breakfast meeting never happened. Laura didn't show up, and when Tyler went to her house to check on her, there was no sign of Laura. On the morning of Monday, September 4, 2017, Jennifer received a strange message from Laura. The tone was strange, almost unsettling, and the content left Jennifer deeply concerned. Laura confided that she no longer believed the baby was Tyler's. It belonged to her ex-boyfriend Antoine, a man she hadn't seen in over 2 years. Jennifer immediately sensed something was off. Not only was this claim bizarre, but Laura had also misspelled Antoine's name, which was unusual for her. Alarmed, Jennifer tried to call Laura, but there was no answer. When the family returned home later that evening, they found the house eerily quiet. Laura was nowhere to be found. Instead, they discovered candles burning unattended and her beloved dog locked up inside. On September 5, 2017, the police stepped in. The investigation, led by Montgomery County Police Chief Tom Manger, quickly became a full-scale search operation. Laura's family, friends, and students, past and present, joined forces, driven by the hope of finding her safe and sound. Her former students even organized a community search party, distributing flyers and spreading awareness throughout the neighborhood and school district. As the search continued, Laura's father, Mark, made a heartfelt plea through the media, urging anyone with information to come forward. He held on to the hope that someone, somewhere, might have the key to bringing his daughter back home. Meanwhile, the investigators quickly conducted a welfare check at Laura's home in Olney, Maryland, but found the house empty, with no signs of forced entry, no broken glass, no disturbed furniture. Even her 2011 black Ford Escape was missing. The family insisted that the police take a closer look at Tyler, as he had been the last person to see Laura. Tyler agreed to speak with the officers, recounting his weekend with Laura. He told the police that while their adventure had started well, after the argument, things changed drastically. Laura's mood shifted, and she wasn't as happy as she had been the day before. After Laura failed to show up for their breakfast meeting, Tyler went to her house, but there was no sign of Laura. He claimed he couldn't enter the house because he no longer had the key. However, this detail immediately raised red flags for the officers. During interviews with Laura's neighbors, one mentioned seeing Tyler walking Laura's dog at around 2:30 p.m. on that same Monday, September 4th. If Tyler had been unable to enter the house as he claimed, how could he have been walking the dog? Laura's father, Mark, and her sister, Jennifer, both confirmed that they found the dog locked inside the house when they returned that evening. The contradiction fueled the growing suspicion around Tyler, but the police kept this crucial detail to themselves for the time being. As suspicion mounted, the police decided to dig deeper. Tyler, perhaps thinking he had nothing to hide, gave them permission to search his phone records before leaving the first interview. What he didn't know was that the police had also placed a tracker on his vehicle, allowing them to secretly monitor his movements. The relentless search for Laura Wallen was about to take a dramatic turn. On the evening of Thursday, September 7, 2017, an employee from the Gramercy Gated Complex in Columbia, Maryland, stumbled upon something that would crack the case wide open. In one of the complex's dumpsters, he discovered Laura's license and a cell phone. When the police rushed to the scene, their findings deepened the mystery. Just a short distance away, they located Laura's vehicle, a 2011 black Ford Escape, carefully backed into a parking spot within the complex. What struck investigators as particularly odd was the proximity of the complex to Wild Lake High School, where Laura taught. It was merely across the highway, raising the question, why would Laura's car be there? With mounting questions and unsettling discoveries, the police took the evidence in for further analysis. The investigation shifted gears as detectives delved deeper into Laura's life, scrutinizing every detail and interviewing those closest to her. The team split into two. One group focused on retracing Laura's digital footprint, while the other zeroed in on her family and boyfriend. Laura's computer and cell phone became critical pieces of the puzzle, meticulously searched for clues that might reveal her last known movements. Her car was also stripped down and examined for any evidence that could shed light on her fate. Investigators combed through her financial transactions and phone records, desperate for any lead that could explain her disappearance. The investigation into both Laura's and Tyler's activities began to yield more revealing information. Police found a debit card transaction made by Laura at a Safeway in Olney on the evening of September 2, 2017. Surveillance footage from the store confirmed that Laura and Tyler had been together that night. Phone records further corroborated this, showing that their phones had been in the same locations, pinging off the same cell towers since that Saturday evening. But something disturbing happened on Sunday. Laura's movements, which had been traceable through her phone, suddenly ceased. Tyler's phone records, however, revealed something even more chilling. That Sunday evening, he had texted a friend urgently asking for a late-night ride because he needed help cleaning up a mess. The friend, uneasy with the request, declined to assist. Over the next week, as the search for Laura intensified, the police kept a close eye on Tyler. To their alarm, they discovered that he had visited the field in Damascus, where he had taken Laura the weekend before, no less than 10 times since her disappearance. Fingerprint analysis further complicated Tyler's story. Both Laura's and Tyler's fingerprints were found on her vehicle, as well as on the cell phone and driver's license that had been discarded in the dumpster in Colombia. The focus of police investigation was now squarely on Tyler as they raced against time to find Laura and uncover the full story.
What Tyler didn't know was that the police had already uncovered more incriminating information from his phone. Laura was not the only woman in Tyler's life. The text messages revealed that their 10-year relationship had been far from stable, marred by infidelity and conflict. This was fueled by remarks from Laura's father, Mark, who had always harbored doubts about Tyler. Mark expressed concern about Tyler's commitment, noting that in a decade of dating, Tyler had never spent significant holidays like Thanksgiving with Laura, a red flag that had long troubled him. As the investigators dug deeper into Tyler's life, the emerging picture painted a man who was far from the devoted partner he claimed to be. The suspicions surrounding him were now more than just theories. They were rapidly solidifying into a disturbing reality that pointed toward Tyler as a central figure in Laura's disappearance. Mark Wallen had long suspected that Tyler never truly prioritized Laura. Important events like Christmas, family trips, and birthdays came and went without Tyler by Laura's side. Mark also knew about another woman in Tyler's life, Christina Wagoner, a fellow teacher like Laura. After tracking down friends of both Christina and Tyler, the police unearthed the truth. Tyler had met Christina in 2012 and was living with her all while still maintaining a relationship with Laura. These friends revealed that Tyler and Christina had recently become engaged, with plans to marry in 2018. But when asked about Laura, they alleged that she had been the one stalking Tyler, claiming she became unhinged after their breakup years earlier. The investigation grew more complex when officers reviewed text messages on Laura's phone. They discovered that Laura had reached out to Christina on August 28, 2017, asking to meet and discuss Tyler. This bold move angered Christina, who confronted Tyler about it. In response, Christina attempted to file a complaint with the police, alleging harassment by Laura. However, when informed that all three parties, Laura, Tyler, and Christina, would need to appear in court for a restraining order, Tyler suddenly backed out. Adding another twist, it was revealed that Tyler and Christina had planned to go wedding shopping over the Labor Day weekend, but Tyler had canceled at the last minute, claiming he injured his knee. When the police informed Laura's family about Christina, they were met with a surprising response. According to Mark, Laura had mentioned that it was Christina who was stalking Tyler, not the other way around.
Tyler was brought in for another round of questioning, this time armed with damning evidence from Laura's belongings and the cell phone data. When confronted, Tyler's story took an unexpected and sinister twist. He claimed that Laura had gotten herself into serious trouble, not with him, but with a student, alleging that the pregnancy was the result of an affair. Tyler claimed he was trying to buy Laura some time to figure out how to handle the situation. He admitted to taking her vehicle, license, and cell phone and discarding them at the complex to give her a head start in escaping her problems before her family discovered the truth. He insisted that his intentions were to help Laura because he cared deeply for her and that he had tried to mislead everyone to protect her. However, when the police pressed him further about Laura's current whereabouts, Tyler denied knowing anything. The investigators, growing more skeptical by the minute, were not convinced by this new version of events. When confronted about Christina, Tyler denied everything. But the police were armed with undeniable evidence of his double life, challenging his every claim and tightening the net around him. Tyler eventually broke down and confessed to cheating on both Laura and Christina, admitting that this was the catalyst for his argument with Laura. He claimed that despite their fight, he wanted to make amends and repair their relationship. Investigators, hoping he would finally reveal Laura's condition and whereabouts, pressed him further, but Tyler steadfastly denied any involvement in her disappearance. Unbeknownst to Tyler, the police had already uncovered a crucial link between him and a vacant field in Damascus through his phone records. One phone number in particular stood out, a connection to a meat processing plant called KS Cuts, which was located right next to the property Tyler and Laura had visited. The plant owner, who also owned the open field where the couple had been, became the key to unraveling more of Tyler's secrets. Through interviews, the police learned that Tyler had previously worked for the plant owner and often helped hunt game on the property. Over the Labor Day weekend, Tyler had contacted the owner, requesting access to a safe on the property. Inside that safe were 4.20 caliber rifles, along with ammunition. This revelation sent a cold wave through the investigation team. The possibility that Laura was no longer alive became a grim reality, but the police knew they needed more than just suspicions, they needed concrete evidence. Instead of confronting Tyler directly, they devised a clever scheme in collaboration with Laura's family to catch him in his own web of lies. On Monday, September 11, 2017, Laura's parents, Mark and Gwen, stood beside Tyler at a press conference, appealing for Laura's safe return. The entire event was a calculated move orchestrated by both the police and the Wallen family, hoping that the pressure would cause Tyler to slip up and inadvertently reveal crucial information. As the press conference unfolded, teams of police officers and cadaver dogs quietly scoured the fields of Damascus near the meat processing plant. Meanwhile, Tyler stood before the cameras, delivering a seemingly heartfelt plea for Laura's return. He even suggested that Laura should not feel ashamed of anything she might have done, subtly alluding to the fabricated story he had spun about her supposed troubles.
Laura, if you're listening, it doesn't matter what's happened, it doesn't matter what type of trouble. There's nothing we can't fix together. Myself and your family. There's so many people that miss you. There's so many people that were out. We haven't slept. We haven't eaten. We're just looking. And we're praying that you're safe. And I'm asking to just let us know that you're safe.
Tyler played his role as the concerned boyfriend flawlessly, completely unaware that the investigation had him in its crosshairs. On September 13, 2017, just 2 days after the emotional press conference, the case took a devastating twist. Laura Wallen was no longer considered missing. Her body had been found in a shallow grave in the open field in Damascus. Police had followed a trail of tire tracks leading to a suspiciously disturbed patch of soil. As they examined the area, a piece of purple fabric caught their attention, protruding from the ground. With heavy hearts, they began to dig, uncovering the lifeless body of Laura Wallen. The clothing she wore matched exactly with the description and photos Jennifer had provided from their last conversation, confirming the grim discovery.
He told police that where they were on Saturday night was a property that was for sale half in Montgomery County, half in Frederick County. That area was searched. It was not the place. So the police then made the decision that they were going to conduct a search at Stiles' property. That was done with numerous officers, with forensics to collect evidence. Most importantly, officers who are on four-wheelers, because the only way to access this location is through a four-wheel drive vehicle.
It was a heartbreaking conclusion to a frantic search, made all the more tragic by the loss of Laura's unborn child. The discovery of Laura's body shattered any remaining hope, turning the search for a missing woman into a homicide investigation.
To the family, friends, and students of Laura Wallen, we are so sad to report tonight that the Wild Lake High School Teacher of the Year was killed.
Today, around noon, detectives and members of the Montgomery County Police Search and Rescue Team were searching a wooded area near Price's Distillery Road in Damascus. They located a patch of freshly dug ground in a secluded area of a field. Cadaver dogs indicated on the area, and ultimately, detectives found the body of Laura Wallen in a shallow grave. Her body has now been recovered. At 5:30 p.m. this afternoon, Tyler Tessio, Mrs. Wallen's boyfriend, was arrested for her murder.
Tyler was arrested. Yet, even in custody, he attempted to wriggle his way out of the situation. He was held at the county jail as investigators anxiously awaited the initial autopsy report. When it arrived, it confirmed their worst fears. Laura had been shot in the back of the head before being buried in the field, the same way Tyler would shoot an animal. Confronted with this damning evidence, Tyler concocted yet another elaborate lie. He claimed that on Sunday evening, while he and Laura were at her house, a group of African American men stormed in and held them hostage at gunpoint. According to Tyler, these men then forced them to drive out to Damascus, where, after pleading for his life, he was spared. The men allegedly turned their attention to Laura, shooting her in the head, and then coerced Tyler into burying her body in the field. They supposedly threatened to kill him if he ever revealed their identities or led the police to her body sooner. The police saw through this fabricated story and countered by reminding Tyler of his connection to the property owner where Laura was found. Cornered, Tyler spun yet another version of events. This time, he claimed that he and Laura had gotten into an argument, during which he pushed her, causing her to fall and hit her head. Believing she had died after losing consciousness, he panicked and took her out to the field to hide her body. But in a twisted turn, Tyler said that after burying her, he thought she might still be clinging to life. In what he called a mercy killing, he claimed to have dug up the grave, shot her in the head to end her suffering, and then covered his tracks. Despite his shifting stories, the truth was undeniable. Tyler remained in custody without bail at the Montgomery County Detention Center as the reality of his actions set in. Laura, along with her unborn son, baby Reed, were laid to rest in a public cemetery. Over 1,000 mourners attended their funeral, a poignant reminder of the lives tragically cut short by Tyler's heinous crime. On September 30, 2017, as Laura's family, friends, and students gathered to pay their final respects to the beloved teacher, the prosecution was quietly assembling their case against Tyler. Montgomery County State Attorney John McCarthy took the lead in the prosecution, determined to bring justice to Laura and her unborn child.
Evidence would have come out that over the course of the last 10 years, while he was having the relationship with these two women, he was involved with numerous other women, romantically and sexually. He had lied to those women about the fiance and Laura. He told numerous people he suffered from brain cancer. Many, many people would have testified that he told them that he had brain cancer. There was one woman who would have testified, who was interviewed by the police, who the defendant asked to lie for him because she picked him up from Columbia Mall after he brought the car there. And he called her and said, if the police call you, lie to them. She had no idea why he was asking that, but as she was brought into the police station to be interviewed, she said, I'm not getting involved in this. And she proceeded to tell the police that he had asked her to lie, and actually did a phone sting, a recorded hour-long call with him the night after the press conference. It's at that point in time he tells her that they put drops in his eyes during the press conference to make it appear as if he was crying. They had an earpiece in his ear, the police were telling him exactly what to say during the police conference, and numerous other lies that he said he had signed a document that he could officially lie in a press conference. He told numerous individuals that. Evidence would have shown conclusively that he was the father of the baby. Evidence would have shown conclusively the tracking, the path that he took, both in killing her and in disposing of her car up in Columbia. There's probably a million other pieces of evidence that would have come out, but they're finite, but each piece to the point of saying there's a great place to bury a body in this field. All of those things would have come out. He started that week with, I literally could kill her. And by the end of the week,
the prosecution and investigation teams worked tirelessly, piecing together a chilling theory about Tyler's double life. They believed that Tyler had been content to juggle both relationships, one with Laura and the other with Christina, until Laura's bold text message to Christina on August 28, 2017, threatened to unravel everything. Realizing that his secret life was on the brink of exposure, Tyler began to devise a plan to eliminate Laura, ensuring his future with Christina would remain intact. Labor Day weekend presented the perfect opportunity. With Christina out of town and Laura's family away, Tyler had the time and freedom to carry out his sinister plan without immediate suspicion. He chose the remote field in Damascus, a location he knew well, where his friend's equipment would be available, and where few would think to look for Laura. It was the ideal setting for a crime he hoped would go undetected.
He takes her to the spot where she will be buried, and her body is found in this precise location on the 13th of...
To further mislead investigators, Tyler fabricated a story about Laura's alleged infidelity, hoping to cast doubt on her character and create a plausible reason for her disappearance. He planted her vehicle and belongings near Wild Lake High School, crafting a narrative that suggested she had fled to escape the consequences of her supposed affair. Tyler believed his plan was foolproof, assuming that by the time Laura's body was discovered, it would be too late to trace anything back to him. However, he severely underestimated both the investigators and Laura's family. His careless mistakes, inconsistent stories, and the strained nature of his relationship with Laura raised immediate red flags. The prosecution's case was solid, but under Maryland law, Tyler could only be charged with the murder of Laura, as the death of her unborn child was not recognized under the county's constitution. This legal limitation was a bitter pill for Laura's family to swallow, and they vowed to contest it during Tyler's trial scheduled for September 2018. On September 6, 2018, just days before the trial was set to begin, the pursuit of justice for Laura and baby Reed took a shocking turn, leaving those who loved her reeling from the unexpected developments.
Was not in isolation. He was in a single cell area on a pod where 15 other inmates were also housed. He had been checked and seen by members of the jail alive and well in his cell less than 10 minutes before he was discovered deceased. He had gotten up at about 4 o'clock in the morning and had showered between 4 and 4:15. He'd been seen again about 4:36. He was given breakfast at 4:45 and was found dead in his cell at 4:55.
Tyler woke up in jail, was allowed to take a shower, was served breakfast, and then an officer found him hanging from some bed sheets. It was an emotional roller coaster for the victim's family. They remembered Laura Wallen today as full of light and love. Rather than confront the consequences of his actions, Tyler chose to take his own life, evading justice in the most cowardly way. Reports revealed that he left behind 5 separate letters, each one signaling that he had been planning this final act for some time. Although Laura's family was denied the chance to see him answer for the murder of their daughter and unborn grandson, her mother Gwen found a measure of solace in his demise. She referred to Tyler as a diabolical human and admitted that she had feared living in a world where someone like him could continue to exist. With Tyler's death, Gwen felt that a dark chapter had finally closed, bringing a bittersweet sense of peace to a family forever marked by tragedy.
As awful as today is, I feel at peace because I worried for my family and I worried for my other 2 grandsons to have such a diabolical human, if you can call him that, still in the world. But again, I also have immense gratitude because we're taught in our faith that God only gives you what you can handle. And I kept thinking, it's getting to be too much. It's just getting to be too much. And today I feel grateful that God is merciful and has given us the ability to move on and talk about Laura and the wonderful things that she's done in the world. Thank you.
Gwen and her family could finally find some semblance of peace, knowing that justice for Laura and baby Reed had been served, even if not in the way they had hoped. This case, senseless in its brutality, leaves us all questioning the true nature of the people we trust. It's heartbreaking to think that Laura and her unborn child were taken by the very man she envisioned spending her life with, all while believing she was on the brink of realizing her dream of a happy family. So, what are your thoughts on this tragic case? Were there signs that Laura might have missed, red flags that hinted at Tyler's true nature? Or was she like so many others, blinded by love and unable to see the danger lurking beneath the surface? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found today's story compelling, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit that like button, and share this video with fellow true crime enthusiasts. And if there's a case you'd like us to cover, drop us a message in the comments. Until next time, stay safe and vigilant.